Oh, hey. Welcome back to Z's Toy Barn. Today we're gonna just completely switch what we're doing.
We're gonna work on some bikes.
Here we go. All right, so here we are. It's about the end of February. Well, a couple days to go in February here. It's gonna get warm soon, so we need to get back on that and that. But to do that, we need money. And because I'm a poor, broke hick,
we picked up some bikes. All right, arguably this one's not being sold. This one, I built this one a few years ago for a friend of mine. This was actually my first Harley ever, and it's got a little bit of wear and tear to it. We did a few things, you know, paint isn't that great, so we're gonna pull the engine. We're gonna paint the engine with actual engine paint. We're gonna make a 333 cover to hide this wiring because I don't like it. Something's going on with the lights all of a sudden. We put a 21-inch front, 21-inch front tire on it. Has the stock caliper on it, which isn't that good. We've got brackets over here. We're gonna change this up. Those are gonna go to a Kawasaki EX 650 and a Ninja 650 Tyco or whatever it is brake for this one. The wind is really, really bad here today. Power already went off once, but. So we're gonna basically strip this one down to nothing. Do a little fab work. I'm gonna make a 333 cover. And we're gonna replace all the bolts because these are the bolts I had at the time to put in, and well, no fault to editor Damo.
Yeah, you can comment in there and rip on him if you want.
But he let it sit outside under a cover, so everything rusted. We built this fender. Well, I bought it and then modified it to work. And let's see, my body work's not that great, but it looks okay. We're learning experience. This is so if you want to put a 2-up seat on it. And then I bought this from my wife many years ago, and she's decided she doesn't want to ride. So the tank was shot, so I bought this one because it was cheap. And now we're gonna pull the pieces off this one and make it match the tank. I don't think I'm gonna do any gray. Tank's gonna be black and gray because you'll have these chrome stripes here in this Honda. We'll get this stuff off and have it painted and clean it up. Yes, everything's dirty.
My foam sprayer kit thing didn't show up yet today, and some of the parts we ordered for these have not shown up yet.
But fender off, covers off, and rear fender. I got this one pretty cheap off a friend of mine because they threw the carburetor away. So this has been modified to the Japanese/Australian version of twin carbies. I have it pretty good set. They work. I don't remember what air filter I have in there, if I have one at all. But we got to make the choke work because it has a real nice choke lever on it. But there's nothing choking, and I don't even know if it has a choke. But we're going to try to make that work for whoever buys this. And to put new tires on it too. Service it. We're going to service all these. Next, we got up 1982 Honda Magna. It has a fuel leak. Carburetors were rebuilt a while ago. We ordered a rebuild kit for those. We're going to rebuild them again. find out where our fuel is just leaking. I've never worked on one of these things, and I don't know what kind of voodoo magic this is. We got a cylinder going this way and a cylinder going this way. I'm used to, you know, V-twin style stuff, but carburetor here, carburetor there. This is just gonna get ugly. And we have the tool coming to retune these. This is just gonna get maybe new tires. That Dunlap looks pretty new. This Metzler looks older than dirt. We'll figure it out. And probably end up replacing that, which this is gonna be fun because it's a shaft drive. Drum brake. So I'm probably gonna break my knuckles, cuss, swear, and everything else like this. And this one's liquid cooled. So this is gonna be fun as well because carburetors are in there and we're probably gonna have to drain the coolant. I have Japanese and European coolant here, so it shouldn't be a big deal. We'll wash her up. But for a motorcycle, 8,377 miles on it for 1982 is not bad. Look at that red line. 11,000. It's pretty sweet little ride. This will, you know, make somebody happy. Now we have the piece de resistance. No, not really. We've got another Honda Rebel. I think this one's an 87. 87 with the actual single American carby. Paint looks pretty decent. There's some nicks here and there. I'm not going to repaint it. We're going to clean it up. We'll probably clean up this battery box because it's rusty. We're going to check the date code on the tires. They still have nipples on them, so overall this probably would be the least worked on. We'll just clean her up, get her going, check the air filter, full service. They said it really didn't idle that well. It idled pretty good when it rode here. You know, spray the chain up with some spray lube. We have a plethora of miscellaneous motorcycle parts. Those rotors rusted. I have factory Sportster rotors that we can clean up and put on depending on if that's what my buddy wants. I've got these awesome adjustable rebound and firm box shocks. If we can get them low enough, because if you can see, it's kind of got, you know, a rake to it. If I can get them to match the length of these, we'll probably slap them on. We do have a little bit of adjustability here, which would be kind of nice over here because of the setup. If you're worried about the license plate, people, Damo can, like, you know, edit it out, but whatever. And we gotta figure this spacing out a little bit better. This fell off actually on him one time because it rattles so much. We're just gonna clean them up. If you can look at the pipes here, you can see it's been running a little bit lean. Now, I don't know if that's because he's been putting cheap fuel in it. We do have a screw there, so we're probably gonna rejet this CV carb. I have an entire CV carb rebuild kit right here, so I can get into that one. And again, that one's been jetted because this bike already has cams in it. We've got the, you know, the ground pounders and the nice air cleaner there. I don't remember what jets I put in it. At the time, it worked really good. So it's questionable on what actually jets in there. I think they're 175s. I've got a set of 190s in here, and I also have a 200 in here. So we might be trying to figure that out. Miscellaneous lights, and he had some Vans, sticky, grippy, disgusting things here. We're going to change out the grips too. Might go back to the old ones and not give them a choice. But we've got these nifty, these were on it when I owned it. I didn't have the ape hangers on it, but it had, yeah, it had these. These lights, he said the lights weren't working, weren't flashing. They're flashing very slowly. So, I don't know. I don't know if he's gonna want me to fix that. But we'll get to it. And basically we're gonna pull one of every bolt that's rusted. And take it somewhere like Fastenal or something like that and get stainless steel bolts. We're going to get a chrome bolt kit for the engine, black forward controls. These ones are old and rusty. I have not pulled this engine out of here. I pulled the engine out of my 2006 Heritage Softail and put a 100 cubic inch SDS big bore kit in it. That wasn't that hard to pull, although the transmission's not integral to the engine. It's bolted on, unlike a Sportster where you have the engine and transmission's one. So this is probably gonna be pretty bloody heavy. We have a limited amount of room because 30 by 30. And if I had a 4-post lift, well, then I could slide one car underneath and I'd have this entire bay, which would be pretty sweet, but we don't. And then, you know, things you don't account for. I know I'm rambling. This is the longest ramble ever. Things you don't account for is sidewall space. You've got all this crap that impedes, like, you know, 4 foot out. So you're 30 by 30. Realistically isn't 30 by 30 anymore. But we're gonna chuck this sucker on time-lapse, crank, and I mean crank, 70 hairbands, and we're just gonna get to it. We're gonna start disassembling this one, lay our parts out. We're trying to get this Sportster's engine out. This one, we're just gonna pull that fender and the stuff. Those ones, I don't have the stuff I need for them right now. They should be here sometime today. I'm gonna have to monkey with that magnet because, again, I don't know. I don't know. But, all right, we're gonna get to it. So here we go.
you saw in that little time lapse there, were, yeah, you know, kind of the way stripped. And yes, I could take this bike down to absolutely nothing in probably 45 minutes to an hour. I've had it apart quite a few times, actually. I've got a really bad scar right here from this bike. It tried to kill me, but not the bike per se. Somebody pulled out in front of me and waffle stomped everything here. Just right into the dirt. So it sat for many, many years with no triple tree, no forks, no nothing, just sitting there. And then the editor here decided to talk me into selling it to him. The other thing we didn't mention is this is not a Sportster back wheel. This is actually a Softail back wheel. Yeah, nice windowed. The Sportster wheels were just ugly. And that has a fatter tire, so it, you know, a little more grip. But the plan is, oil's slowly draining out. It's like 2050. We're gonna let that drain for some time before I go and try to pluck that out and put it over there on the bench. On the bench, we've got our CV carburetor. People can say what they want about these carburetors. I happen to like them. I don't know why. I figured out how to tune them. I figured out how to make them work, and I enjoy them. It's kind of like the guys who swear by quadrajets. Once you figure out a quadrajet, apparently it's great. I don't know. I'm a Holly kind of guy. You can buy S&S carburetors, Super E's, whatever. But this little CV here, in my opinion, is better. We're gonna go through this whole thing, check it. Maybe the air to fuel screw, he just didn't know how to adjust, because he's not a mechanic. He's, yeah. But so we got all this. Another thing people don't seem to like are these vacuum petcocks. The way this works is it idle when it's pulling, no vacuum. It's just sitting there, right? It just drips fuel, drip, drip, drip. As soon as you crack the throttle, you know, then it just dumps it. And this thing does eat fuel. I like these. This one did malfunction. There is silicone there. The diaphragm died, so I just bypassed it. Made it solid. So it's either all fuel or no fuel. This was brand new. I'm talking like expensive to buy, brand spanking new from Harley, and it failed. So we've got that. Got some damage on the tank. We are dripping fuel. Oh, shoot. Stand by. This is live. Nothing like having gasoline all over your stuff. Well, it's okay. This was plasti dipped way back when. So we're actually gonna get a black one or paint this one, right? You kind of have to, is that breather right here? If I just set this down and just fuel everywhere, kind of like how it just did. Let's get a rag. Oh, editor Damo's gonna hate this. Everybody wave to him. Hi, buddy. What else we got going on here? Okay, so I got this many years ago, and there was some questionable things done to it already. Like, can you see how that's kind of chopped? So we're gonna probably change this out. We're waiting to hear. I bought this a long time ago. I actually kind of have a tattoo that looks like that. And then I got this here a long time ago too for it.
It's pretty sweet. Truth be told, the filler on my arms, I kind of want it to look like that. We'll disconnect the battery. He lost the top. The battery box is kind of hammered, but that's okay. And why? You're like, why is that okay? That doesn't make any sense. Well, right. That's for the soft tail. Right here. Right here. Struggle. I happen to have 2 more brand new ones. Ow! Piece of metal right there. Son of a family show. Anyways, as I was saying, son of a gun. We got a brand new one. But that's kind of our update right there after the old time lapse with the headbanger music. Now we're gonna go ahead and get this crap out of the way. Out. We'll have to loosen this up, slide it forward, and hope it don't fall. All right, here we go. All right. Sorry. Anybody who's smart's gonna notice this is a different shirt. That's because, well, I had to stop. Then I just started the time lapse again, right where I think I left off. But we're gonna go over what we just did. Go over some struggles and some stupidity, we'll call it. All right, so we got forward controls, all that crap off. We got our belt cover off. That's a little grimy in there. I'm not sure why, but it is. We'll figure that out. Tank, well, carburetor, all that junk is off. Over here, we got, you know, there's your belt cover, CV carb, we discussed that. Horn assembly, if you'd have seen, which, I mean, if you're watching, you would have. When I disassembled this, I put all the bolts and everything back where they go. I don't know, I just like to do that. That way I know where everything goes. It's kind of like bagging your bolts. Lay it all together, kind of where it goes. Some of this stuff's not going back on.
These forward controls, they're bloody hammered. They're crap. So, whatever. Anyways, we got this crap out of our way. Now, yes, we're pulling this engine out. Why do we pull the primary cover if we're pulling the engine out? We probably could have left it all there, right? Well, it's hammered. I mean, it's hammered, okay? I'm gonna sandblast it. And then we have some special engine paint for this thing because she's old. And she's like, you know, just fading away and getting kind of ugly. And then we got, you know, this was a Quicko job. And this is how you can tell it's a Quicko job. You just scratch it off. Nothing was sanded or anything. It was just wiped down and cleaned. Now the fenders and stuff, that was actually done right. I did these right because I was building it for somebody. So this is me in a hurry 10 years ago. This is me not in a hurry, but the owner did not wet sand and buff like he was supposed to. So that's, yell at the editor. I mean, just say, hey editor, why don't you wet sand and buff your bike? Part of the reason we're here is because where he lives doesn't have a garage, and so it's sat outside, and that's why everything's rusted. It just, you know, it's like, I don't know, Canadian style, we'll say, or Pennsylvania style. It's pretty bad in New York. Pennsylvania, you know, it's kind of where we're at. But that's besides the bloody point. When we drained the primary cover, there was a whole bunch of glitter. The chain looks okay. The tension on the chain may have needed a little bit more. I got to see what the specs are for that. But what I'm thinking is this is stock clutch. I think it's original. I don't know. I don't have the guy's number I bought it off of anymore to even call and be like, hey man, what kind of clutch is in this thing? To me, the basket looks factory. So we're going to end up pulling this clutch out just to see what our discs and stuff look like. If they're good, we'll slap it back together and we'll send it. So basically, yeah, when we get this engine out, I'm going to put it over there on the workbench, tape this all off. Actually, I'll probably put everything back together first. And then and we'll go to town. We'll check our spark plugs. I know this was running lean. You can tell by the exhaust. It looks like we got a little bit of something going on there. Looks like almost exhaust coming back through the intake. So we'll have to address that. Factory coil still works. We'll figure the lights out. So we're gonna get this out, which is, we got one mount out. There's another mount right here that bolts onto the head here. So we'll have to get these out of the way, loosened up. They're probably gonna be a pain in the arse. We've got some bolts over here. Yep. I just noticed you can't see them. They're right there. Which will be fun to get. Drop those down out. Get this mount off. That'll free that one up. There's mount here. Mount here. And then we have the two back here. We're gonna have to loosen our wheel, slide it forward, which isn't a big deal because this thing rattles so much. This just said see ya and flew off while he was riding. Broke. So we're gonna replace that with another one. I think there's a plug. I put a plug in it. If not, we will wire an actual plug into this time. That way it works. These are dingy and just look like crap. I don't like it. A lot of this stuff was powder coated. A lot of these just that's from sitting outside. Don't let your bikes outside. Like, I mean, I know
You ride them in the rain. I know. It is what, like, I drive past people that got Harleys and nice looking Hondas and whatever, sitting outside, and it's just like, oh, why would you do that? Just why? Like, I just want to go and save it. Be like, come to me and you'll never sit outside again because I just make room. Obviously. These were all in my house garage. And that's, you know, there's cars in there too. And the Can-Am. I've never pulled a Sportster engine out. I'm not gonna lie to you. And you would have seen me struggling with the, trying to get the case off because I totally forgot that the clutch shaft here that pushes in to push the clutch in had a threaded nut that you had to twist, pull the one that had your spring on it, but my spring was in the bottom. So I don't know how that happened. That may have been an issue why our clutch got torn up because it didn't have any spring. But yeah, so that's why I was having a heck of a time. And like, would you look at this hack job? Just, I mean, what in, this was not me. This was like this when I got this. I don't even know. I don't even want to try because I would literally have to get so far into this. Now, if my buddy wants me to do it, I mean, I'll do it. Like, look at this. What is going on here? I've never known. What? Wow. Those are drill marks. If anybody that knows more about Harleys than me can tell me why somebody drilled into that, that'd be a good thing to know. I don't know. Is it like, did they have to balance it? Is that how it's balanced? The only thing I do know about this engine, truthfully, is it has big cams in it. Other than that, the rest of the stuff, like the exhaust, and it used to have drag pipes on it. And I put the ground pounders. Other than the carburetor being built, I don't know nothing about this thing. That's the problem. Okay? That's the problem with buying used motorcycles, which is kind of funny. We're having this conversation because I just had this conversation with my barber. He got excited. Unfortunately, it wasn't what he wanted. It was a letdown, which stinks for him. But at the end of the day, you know, we had that conversation. You never know what you're going to get. Like my red Heritage that I have. I tried to trade it in. They wanted to give me nothing for it because they didn't think that the cam plate was fixed. And they're like, hey, it's going to blow up. I'm like, well, you don't want to give me nothing for it? Screw you. I'll build the thing. And I did. As the engine was sitting on my bar, yes, I built an engine downstairs on a bar. Or other place to do it, right? It's warm. Beer, pop, whatever you want to have. And the cam plates were done. It had Screaming Eagle cam plate with high flow oil pump already in it. No, I didn't throw the stuff away. I kept it. Why would you throw away good parts? But we're probably going to shut it down from here. I've ran it enough. It's cold. My fingers are cold. It's probably about a 15-minute or so video. I don't know. I do know I got to get this engine out first. As soon as I get this engine out, I have a rebuild kit for that Magna. Rebuild, not the engine, sorry. I should have specified. I have a carb rebuild kit for the Magna. We've got a battery for the 87 that's back there. Because that one just needs a wash and oil change in this battery. These things are cheap and they work. And then we're going to do some paint on this one. Back to this one. Basically, we're going to tape everything off.
that doesn't need painted, and we're gonna send it. But at that point, keep rid of the floorboards or keep your throttle twisted, and we'll catch you on the flip side.